Becoming a speaker and therefore rising above party politics is one thing that empowered the Right Honorable Speaker Mbabazi-Kadaga. And I know she's a woman of high reputation, and I think she's ambitiously interested in keeping that repute high. And you are not likely to see her really stooping too low to party politics or manipulations from behind. It is very unlikely. So I think she becomes a persona non grata in the NRM realm. Oh. And therefore the Prime Minister, despite the Speaker being at another level,
higher level in the hierarchy,
yes, he has to report to the President what is happening in Parliament.
Yes.
And you should know that the President really monitors what happens in Parliament. And I believe he used to monitor so much when his Vice President now was the Speaker of Parliament.
Yes.
And he may not now come in very directly in order to manipulate Parliament the way he used to manipulate it, through certain big boys, the big brothers within Parliament. That is why these ones look defeated. So they must report to the appointing authority as if he appointed this one to the position of Speaker.
Right.
But the Speaker also, I think, as a person, must have a record which should be corrected, and she must write back. For sure, I and the Honorable Bahati here, we have been disappointed by ministers. You cannot ask a direct question to the minister.
Why?
And they answer.
What do? They would
want to refer to go back and prepare an answer. Maybe they ask for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, or even months. That's so disappointing.
What do you mean? What explains that? They have to talk to somebody else or what?
I think you can make deductions from that. For instance, you ask a youth as the minister concerned for youth about the 44 billion which was supposed to go for the
youth empowerment,
and then they have to postpone the debate or more questions about that. The Prime Minister comes up and says, we are going to provide an answer. I mean, what do you discuss in cabinet that you are not, which are not on your fingertips?
Right.
So disappointing. And I think if at all Right Honorable Speaker Mbabazi-Kadaga mentions that there has been incompetence at the front bench, I think the Parliament would really agree with her that ministers do not seem to be ministers of themselves. They need to go back, cook things, and come back, you know. But Parliament and the citizens want to know, to get answers, and wise answers at an instance.
Right.
I mean,
which they are not getting at the moment.
The world is one village, and you can see question time in Britain and see ministers able to give answers on short notice. This is not happening. It's so disappointing.
Honorable Bahati,
they should style up.
Who would you choose between Kadaga and Mbabazi in case the question was? Talk to us about your own choice.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say that Dr. Lulume belongs to the Democratic Party. I belong to NRM, and I think the people of Uganda now can see why the oldest party in Uganda is not doing well, because almost 90% of their time they spend on analyzing our own party, not what they are doing to the Ugandans, but analyzing our own party.
Go on.
Dr. Lulume, you don't know what's happening in NRM, so you cannot be an authority to tell us how the party is moving.
1980, when you went and liberated it, you never.
That's how they have never recovered. But they spend all their time talking about NRM, how we are moving forward, and now we are not moving forward.
Yeah.
Please concentrate on DP. You don't know what happens in NRM.
Go on.
Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker Kadaga is trying all she can to make sure that the Parliament of Uganda remains an independent institution, but works and collaborates with the executive. Honorable Mbabazi is the Prime Minister of Uganda, so the two must work together if we are going to have smooth running of the country, because almost 90% of the business that comes Parliament comes from executive, and it is brought by the leader of government business in Parliament, who is the Prime Minister. What happens in Parliament is actually under the authority of the Speaker. So it's important there is harmony. But it's not very surprising that actually once in a while the Prime Minister and the Speaker worldwide, there are some times when there is no agreement, a bit of tension. And this is what we have gone through over the last 3 weeks. But I think we are moving forward over this issue. You are saying who is better than, because they are handling two different things.
Well,
one is
an
executive, another one is I've not heard from any telling us that they want to become president.
The Archbishop said he wants a woman president. Maybe
the Archbishop who?
Henry Lukorombi, he said maybe we should have a woman president. Do you agree with that? Very
well, the party, the NRM party, has a system on how we can elect the president.
And you say President Museveni might come back.
Any one of us is free, is at liberty.
And you say President Museveni, you think is likely to come back in 2016? There's a possibility. You're not ruling it out.
I'm not ruling it out, and he has an opportunity, and like any one of us has an opportunity to stand up
an
and
equal
stand
opportunity.
For an equal opportunity.
Let's talk about
and it's an equal opportunity to both men and women.
Let's talk about the young Turks, the younger members. Mbabazi said he won't argue with some of them because they are, in his words, were born just yesterday. Should they be talking about it, or should they wait until they are 60?
Well, if Honorable Mbabazi really said that will be unfair to the young generation, instead he should be saying the young generation, I don't know in what context he said it, but the young generation should be helped, should be mentored, because we are the leaders of not only today but tomorrow.
The young generation are the leaders of tomorrow.
No, we are today and tomorrow.
Tomorrow will never come to NRM.
Mm-hmm. Well, but so the president has said they are siding with the opposition all the time.
So as we speak now, almost 50% of the voting population is between the ages of 18 and 30. So any party, any person who has a stake in the politics of our country must take the young generation very seriously. If they are anywhere people are going wrong, should be pointed out. If they are where they are doing well, they should be encouraged. We should encourage young people so that we realize the potential in them. But you can't say they cannot talk to them because they are young. I don't think that came from the Prime Minister of Uganda.
Well, you read it for yourself. You already have it. But the president says they should be expelled. So you don't agree with the president?
No. Do you mean? No, I don't know whether he said it.
Well, he said it
or young people, or whether I don't know whether the Prime Minister mentioned or young people, or
he mentioned one specific individual. But
one specific. Then I had not got the question very well. Well, there is an internal debate, but as a caucus, we are working on the rules of procedure, and we hope that once the rules are debated, they also have some suggestion on how we should be disciplined within ourselves. And once we adopt that, I think we should start seeing some action taken on some
the young men silence for good.
Not necessarily. Actually, what we try to do now in the
young
caucus,
men and women.
What we try to do now in the caucus is to encourage an environment where people can speak open and candidly without fear of victimization or hopes of favors. So the rules are to encourage people to harness their potential so that the party can move forward.
Is that something that you agree with? This is the party in power. Let's talk about it.
No, of course they are trying to I mean, my friend here, Hon David Bahati, unfairly treated the Democratic Party. But you see, when you are in government, you are under public scrutiny, and you should allow us to scrutinize the grapplings within the NRM which are failing the whole state. I know the NRM will never allow people to debate freely. And when you are debating, you would want to rally people behind you so that the chief executive must understand that whatever he's doing, he should really follow what the people say. Because I know in NRM, research is not something that they do very frequently. So they need this.
If I can mention
just a minute.
You have a lot in your own party. You have a lot of
the ruling party.
So we are talking about the ruling party.
You need to concentrate on your own party.
The ruling party. Please go on.
We should talk about the ruling party because we are under this government. Although we don't like it, but for better or for worse, we don't like it, but that is the reality. So we should scrutinize it and so that people can really get aware about the future. And Honorable Bahati, you should be very happy because I can voice what you are not able to voice about what is the rot within the party which is ruling Uganda. So I know that free debate, especially on succession, is very unlikely. Even on government policies, by the way, it can be, maybe they can take it with a lot of pain in Parliament. and because Parliament, of course, the media partnership is there. But to come out and lash out on government policies which have not worked, this is something that NRM members of Parliament would do without fear of being punished. And that culture is going to continue, incidentally. You like it or not, it is going to continue.
All right.
So we are going to see an exodus of people who want their freedom to articulate
You think
issues.
people will look out of the NRM?
The NRM has locked very many members of Parliament out, and some of them came as independents, which is a very good sign for us that they went out of
They might cross to the DP.
well, with time we may converge, even with the Honorable Bahati here.
Might end up
Honorable Bahati,
Secretary General of that.
we are converging with Honorable Bahati.
We have to
No,
hear-
praise.
Don't black. This is Spectrum on Radio 1 tonight. Is the debate in Parliament linked to a succession battle within the NRM? Our guests, Honorable David Bahati from the NRM and Honorable Bayiga, Lulume Bayiga from Buikwe and from the DP. You can call in now. Our numbers 0414 348 111, 0312 260 390, 0312 261 390. Spectrum, hello. Hello.
Good evening, Spectrum.
Good evening, sir. Your name?
Dr. Tim Tokambao is my name. I salute the guests in the studio. First of all, as the head of the movement, I'm very happy to see that these issues have started being debated. I think it's high time, Brother Bahati will agree with me, that we started discussing the question of succession. Hate it, like it is inevitable. Two, freedom of expression. Some of us are young cadres. We have been cadres and cadres and cadres. And it's high time we expect and we think of also trying the theory of becoming members of replacing you guys. It's high time I think of becoming a chairman of the caucus like you. So I think that now you should provide the room for us to express and listen to us, irrespective of our age, as long as we are above 18. But as far as Honorable Mbabazi is concerned, we should also appreciate Ugandans that very few intellectuals in Uganda we still have. Most of the intellectuals who in Uganda are rotten. So people like Mama Mbabazi, we still need him, not as NRM, but Uganda as a nation.
Spectrum, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Your name?
Wow. Isha.
Mr. Mjaya, yes.
Hello.
Hello. You're live on Spectrum. Your name? Yes.
I think Honorable Bahati is not the best person to be discussing this issue because personally, he's a person who's being considered as licking feet of the old guard. So he can't be neutral in this debate. Thank you.
Spectrum, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Your name?
Good evening.
Good evening. Your name?
My name is Yawere. I want to greet the Bahati and the other members from Democratic Party. First of all, I want to appreciate the hot debate and debate in Parliament. This is what actually me as a reformist was learning for. You know, movement party is now transforming from movement system governance to a real party. And I would like to just to ask Bahati to tell the leadership of the NRM that people, especially the NRM young staff, they are ready to transform party into the party and make it more relevant to Ugandans. Because I don't think that they do wrong. And you see, Uganda has no opposition.
Okay.
And if the NRM party was doing what it was meant to do, I don't think we should even have the money on that side.
Spectrum, hello. Hello. Okay. Honorable Bahati, you had the questions, many of them are for you.
Well, I think there were no questions.
Okay, it seems we have a caller on the line. Let's take Spectrum, hello. Hello. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir, your name?
Yeah, this is Jonathan.
Yes.
Hello?
Jonathan, you're live on Spectrum.
Hello.
Hello, Jonathan, please talk to us.
Yeah, I would just like to comment on the NRM, and I'm just saying the NRM learned nothing and forgot nothing from the past regimes. Basically, when you see how the kinds of things are going, I'll just conclude the NRM regime has learned nothing and forgot nothing from the past regimes. Thank you.
Spectrum, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir, your name?
I was just saying one thing.
Yes.
That the NRM we are seeing in Parliament today is the NRM I saw in 1986 when it took over power. And that's why I came up to support NRM. And I would like to commend the members of Parliament who are now vibrant, who want now to make this party relevant to the people of Uganda. And I wish to salute them for God and my country.
All right, one final caller, Spectrum. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir, your name?
Yes, this is Joshua Johnson, M2B for Miaga. Yeah, now I just want first of all to thank Hon David Bahati. He's really very attitude and commend him for, being able to inform the public on what's really happening in the NRM system and even the government itself. But it's still, before with Honorable Lulume, actually before addressing the party problems or concerns of NRM in particular, he needs first of all to go into DP and find out what are the issues, because I believe it has got enormous problems that are affecting it, and actually they are not being addressed. And therefore I would appreciate if Honorable Lulume go back to DP and find out what are the problems, what are the issues, how can we address them, before coming into the NRM, because these are two different parties.
All right. Let's hear from guest, Honorable Bahati.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Johnson, for your comment, and others who have made good comments. I just want to say that to the listeners of Radio 1, the NRM party takes the views of the public very seriously. So if you are given an opportunity, instead of abusing somebody, you can, if you have a superior argument, bring it out, because the listeners will be listening to you and will be listening to me, rather than going into abusing somebody. I think the best principles of debate is that we respect one another's views. They might not be right for you, they might be right for me, but bring out superior arguments if you have them, so that we put them on the table. But I've seen that others are saying we have not learned. I think the NRM has learned a few things from the old things. For example, one of the things that actually killed governments in the past was extrajudicial killings. Killing people without notice, we anyhow, like what happened in Amin and some times in the Obote's regime. So we are trying to avoid that. The other issue is that we know that for sure people must work on their economy, and that's what we are concentrating on, prosperity for all. People must go to school. Those are the things that we are concentrating on. So we are learning, and of course we are not perfect, and where we are not perfect, we should be advised. Somebody also talked about allowing room for young people. I agree with you that young people should be given an opportunity to serve, and also it is also important for young people to know that it doesn't come on the silver plate. We must also work for it. We must come out, organize in a constructive way, support our parties wherever we are, whether you are in DP or NRM, organize so that we take this country forward.
Honorable Bayiga.
I want to thank all of them who have called. They have spared their time. Johnson was a bit unfair to think that I should think about problems in DP. Of course, in DP we have problems. Who doesn't know about problems? And I have freely discussed them here on Radio 1. But why DP members should discuss NRM problems is because NRM is in power, and their problems affect all citizens equally. The problems within NRM, when they decide that the leader should lead forever, what comes out of that bubble is a catastrophe to all of us. That is why we must discuss them. The problem of strong party, strong leader syndrome is that when these kind of leaders go, they leave their countries in tatters.
Give us some examples there.
You know what happened in Congo? Yes.
With Mobutu Sese Seko. Yes.
You see? You know what has happened in Egypt? We are yet to see what is going to happen in Libya and other countries. When people overstay in power, they become very insensitive and they think other people should not look into their parties. And that is very, very bad. For as long as people are not drawn into the discourse about politics and how one government gives power to another elected government, as long as that discourse is not inclusive, we will suffer. For instance, and I want this one to go on record for your own information. The framers of the 1995 Constitution did not envisage a change of government.
What do you mean?
And actually, even this government has never thought about it, that power would be exchanged from one individual to another. Actually, what we are used to is the power from President Museveni's left hand to his right hand as a person.
Oh.
So there has never been a presidential transition kind of framework, which I want now to bring to the attention of Ugandans. If, for instance, Dr. Kizza Besigye won the previous election, so what? You have been declared by Electoral Commission, and you do what?
He will be sworn
and so on, and do what?
And that's of Parliament. And he goes to State House in Entebbe.
When Museveni is doing what?
He hands over power to him.
Under what institutional framework?
Well, the election.
It is not there.
What do you mean?
You do not have a framework between for the transition from one president.
What kind of framework would you envisage there?
There must be a law.
Yes.
That this is how, when you are, an elected president has been sworn in, between the swearing in and getting into the State House and actually taking over government, there must be a framework. Which framework must be abided to by the outgoing government?
Yes.
Which brings in a medium through which the new government takes through. We were grappling with it, by the way. We spent over 12 hours without a president because we do not have that framework, and we were debating it. Did the President Museveni have a right to say that ministers should extend their tenure? We debated it and we found that in fact he didn't have. Supposing he was not re-elected president, another one, did he have a right to say your ministers of mine continue into another government? So there is no transitional provision, and this is what we want to bring to the attention of these NRM people who form the majority. To look at it, we might have a catastrophe one time if at all naturally we would want to have a democratic transition. And Honorable Bahati, we can work on this since we are converging so that we can see a peaceful transition, a legislation on it.
Please, NRM is not converging with BP, and it's
BP is converging with individuals because our ideas are now transcending party lines and people are taking them.
All right.
It would be a good project.
We have to go, but maybe before you.
So I wanted just to call up Johnson
very briefly. Yeah.
So Johnson, DP has problems, and we address them, and we want you people to discuss them with us so that it is a national institution capable of taking over power.
All right. We have to go.
Well, I think one of the things that the caller said well about DP is that you can't be having a log in your eye and you say you are going to help. Yes, so that's very, very important.
The log is the NRM. You can't be
having intrigue.
One man
because everybody sees
another against another man. Thank you very much, Didati. Against Honorable David Bahati, Vice Chairman of the NRM caucus in Parliament. Thank you for coming to Spectrum.
You're welcome.
Honorable Dr. Lulume Bayiga, Buikwe South MP, Democratic Party, Shadow Minister of Health, with interesting twists to his discussion. conversation sometimes. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your host.
Thank you very much.
Spectrum will be back tomorrow. Up next is the news in English. Do stay tuned to Radio.
Something new in town.